Today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite cities that I've ever been to. So, for those of you who have seen my other videos, you guys know how much I love New York City, and that still holds true. But if I had like two cities that are like neck and neck for me, is the other city has to be San Francisco. I first fell in love with San Francisco. I remember as a kid going there because my cousins lived there. That was actually my first trip ever out. That was my first trip ever flying, and I believe I was like 5 years old, so this must have been like basically a long time ago. But I specifically remember feeling the weather because we went in summertime and it was chilly. And we went again in middle school, so I'm kind of combining these memories, my first memories of the city. I remember it being really hilly. I remember the weather being cold because we would always go in summertime. And for those of you who don't know, in San Francisco, it's pretty much the same weather year round. It's roughly 60s, 50s, and 60s year round, very windy because the way that the city sits in the Bay Area, something about the climate and all that, it just basically keeps it that weather all year round. It doesn't matter December, July, it's always like that for the most part. And me coming from Texas, where it's always hot, we barely have a winter. Our winters are like on average 50 degrees. It was nice. And of course, when you go to San Francisco, you have to see the Golden Gate Bridge, and there is an unlimited perspectives and unlimited ways to shoot or just see the bridge. You can be on it, you can be on one side, you can be from the city side of San Francisco, you can be on the other side. I believe it's Sausalito or something like that, or near there across the bridge. You can be in the water. Although I've never shot it from the water, I've shot it from the beach on the west side of the city. It's just, as iconic as that bridge is, there's so many ways to view it, and that's one of my favorite things about it. So another reason why I love this city so much is because when I'm going to a city, or even if I never imagine myself living there, I look at it from the perspective of, if I live there, what kind of things would I want? And for me, San Francisco is a perfect blend of city life, which I love, but also I love nature. I love hiking. I love just anything outdoors. I'm a big fan of. So I feel like San Francisco has a perfect blend of that. You go maybe an hour north and you hit Muir Woods, where it's like a beautiful redwood trees. It's just a nice area to walk around and see these giant California trees, and you don't really quite see that anywhere else except, I believe, Northern California. So I highly recommend it. That place was always very unique, and yeah, you don't really get to see anything like that. So I always loved going to Muir Woods, even though I've been a few times already. And there's so many different hikes you can do. I remember going to a waterfall hike. It took like a few hours, but you just hit the Pacific and you see a beautiful waterfall. And you just stuff like that I never take for granted, because in Houston we don't have a lot of nature stuff, if at all. And besides the fact that I have friends and family here, just overall Houston, I believe I can be sometimes harsh on Houston as a city, but I think it's just so boring. There's nothing to do, and it's so hot that even in the summer you don't even want to leave your house, to be quite honest with you. So when I say the weather is perfect and there's outdoor stuff, I mean, come on. How can you not be outside in a beautiful city like that? And I know that people think that when you live in a city you get tired of it, so maybe that's why I don't like it in Houston that much, just strictly as a city. And I'm aware of that possibility, but I've spoken with my cousins. I think it says a lot when you've lived there your entire life, anywhere like a city, and they tell you, no, I love it here, it's amazing. And they lived there their entire lives, so I think it says a lot. I also think the architecture in San Francisco is very unique to other places in the city. You get a lot of colors, you get a lot of this Victorian style, a lot of townhome style, and you don't see that too often. At least I haven't seen it in a lot of places that I've been to, but I think the best way to describe it is when you see a San Francisco house, you know it's from San Francisco, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, oh, that was most likely taken in San Francisco. Just the style of it kind of screams that. I was also blown away by how hilly the city is. I know that sounds weird, and it's not always a comfortable way to traverse the city because of how hilly it is, but I always thought it was just insane how you're literally at like a 45-degree angle, and just cars and people are just acting like it's normal. And to them it is, I get it, but I think it's also coming from a flat state or a flat part of Texas. That always amazed me. So yeah, a few places in San Francisco that are super touristy but I enjoyed is the Japanese Tea Garden, I believe, and the Fisherman's Wharf. It's right on the wharf obviously is right off the northern pier, the coast area, right in front of the bay, right by Alcatraz, and it's just a nice little spot to hang out. It's very touristy. There's a lot of shops there, but you enjoy a nice breeze. And I have to say, you must try a clam chowder bowl in a sourdough bread. I don't know, but that thing is amazing. course, as a photographer, it's kind of just a dream place to photograph. First off, you get that West Coast lighting, and I don't know how to describe it, but it seems to always be golden no matter what. And I know that's not true, but it just seems that way. And again, how I brought up, there's always nature and there's city, so I feel like there's always something to shoot. And like my previous point, you can shoot a million different points of view of the Golden Gate, and I don't think that gets old per se. My last trip there, I actually rented a convertible from the city and drove up with my fiance to wine country in Napa Valley, and I highly recommend that if you're ever in the city. Just rent a car even for a day just to go up there. You don't have to get a convertible, but obviously I just wanted to enjoy the weather with the top down. That was hard to beat, honestly. I would do that again in a heartbeat. So yeah, that was a little love letter to San Francisco, I guess you can say. It was always a place that just gave me this feeling of like, wow. I always felt a sense of, wow, this place is definitely different. It just, something about it, I'm sure you guys can relate where you've been to a place and it's hard to describe. You just feel a sense of warmth, I guess, and a sense of, you feel like it's almost been missing in your life. Like, I know it sounds really corny and cheesy, but that's really how it makes me feel. Like, kind of like New York City, my senses always just go off, like all five senses. Is kind of like too much at times, but hey, I enjoy that, especially as a photographer. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to talk about that with you guys. I also wanted to say thank you for the support on my pins that I dropped in my last video. They're on my website, and I was honestly blown away by the support. So thank you so much for those of you who have purchased some pins, and I do have some stickers on there too. You don't have to purchase anything, but just please go check out my website. I do have some of my work on there. And again, as always, I appreciate every single one of you who watch my videos, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Peace.